HOPEtalks, cancer ideas worth spreading.
Relay for Life people, I am so happy to have this opportunity to talk to you. I'm John Robertson. Most of the people that know me call me Dr. Bob. As you can tell, I'm probably kind of an informal person, but I've got something serious to talk to you today about, and that's about cancer and why I got involved in cancer research. This year, and every year, there's going to be over 500,000 people, perhaps almost 600,000 people that are going to be suffering from cancer and are going to actually die from cancer. Think about that death toll, over 500,000 people every year. It's very discouraging. Between 1.5 and 2 million people will be diagnosed with cancer. Everybody sitting here watching this tape, okay, and looking at this program and thinking about this, a third of the people that are in the room are going to deal with cancer in their lives personally, either themselves or as a relative, a father, a mother, brother, sister, a sibling, somebody who's close to you, your pets. They're going to get cancer. It's a disease that is stalking us. Okay, it is really something that's very, very troubling. Now, my research that I deal with looks at ways that we can cure or control or detect or do something about the most serious kinds of cancer. We call them high-grade malignancies, and the ones in specific that we look at are brain tumors, liver tumors, kidney tumors, and tumors of the pancreas. But the real focus here we have on Virginia Tech and all around us in the labs that are around us where this video is being shot is devoted to looking at brain tumors. Now, just a couple of things that are very discouraging about brain tumors. We call them high-grade malignant or aggressive gliomas. If you get one of those tumors, there's almost 100% certainty that within 2 years of the time you're diagnosed, you're going to die from it. You're going to die from it regardless of the therapy. There is no treatment for these things that are very aggressive malignant tumors of the brain. The mortality is between 95 and 98%. Some people will die within 6 weeks of the time that they're diagnosed. Children get it. Brain tumors are the leading cause of cancer death among children under the age of 14. And certainly they're a significant problem with people as they get older. Although I don't have a brain tumor that I know about, I would be the person that would be most likely to get it. Middle-aged person, Caucasian, mid-60s, and I've had a tremendous amount of exposure to things, carcinogens, okay, viruses, radiation during my professional life that might predispose me to getting these tumors. So the prognosis once you get these things is very discouraging. You can't treat them with surgery. I mean, how much of your brain can you actually lose with somebody doing surgery? Radiation therapy? Yeah, but again, where are the edges of the tumor and how much do you treat? Chemotherapy? Difficult to get it to penetrate into the brain. So we consider brain tumors to be among the most serious, most significant, and most difficult tumors to treat. Okay, very high degree of morbidity and mortality. Well, over the last 5 years, our team of people at Virginia Tech has come up with something that's very encouraging. 5 years ago, we started to discuss the idea that tumors don't really like to have energy put into them. They're very unhappy when you give them radiation, when you get them too hot, you get them too cold. And quite honestly, the only thing I think about every day is how do I make tumor cells very unhappy? Well, Dr. Davalos has got this idea that if we put an electrical pulse into tumor cells, it might destabilize them. And we did some studies and showed that, in fact, if you pulse them with high-frequency electrical pulses, not really a lot of electricity, not like lightning, but enough to create some polarization in the cell membranes, it's going to destabilize the membranes, and the membranes are going to leak. And the tumor cells just leak all the stuff that's inside out there, sort of biology 101 in high school. The cytoplasm and the nucleus should stay inside, and if you disrupt them, it won't. So I said, well, why don't we try this out against brain tumors? Why don't we see if we can design a system to administer electricity to these tumors? So we came up with these very minimally invasive small probes. They're about 1 millimeter or 1.5 millimeters across, and we insert them into the tumor. And when we insert them into the tumor, we then apply electrical field, and the electrical field will kill the tumor cells. And we thought, wow, that's kind of cool. We did things in tissue culture. We cooked a lot of potatoes trying to see if we could come up with the right energy. And then we said, okay, what are we going to do now? Well, it turns out that besides people getting a lot of brain tumors, dogs get tremendous numbers of brain tumors. The incidence of brain tumors, primary brain tumors in dogs, is between 3 and 10 times more than people. And they get the same exact kinds of tumors that people get. They're the same histology. They have the same clinical progression. When dogs get them, dogs don't live long with them. Dogs may suffer from depression, incoordination. They may have epileptic seizures. It's hard to tell if your dog has a headache, but they're very depressed. They may have change in their behavior. These are the same things that we see in people. So working with Dr. Rossmeisel, who is a veterinary neuro-oncologist, we decided, well, if we've got dogs that are suffering from brain tumors and we've got this new therapy, maybe we can take that therapy and try and help these dogs. And that's in fact what we've done over the last 3 years. We've now treated 8 canine patients with irreversible electroporation therapy, and for the first time ever, we actually have had dogs that have had brain tumors that were malignant, aggressive tumors that filled up 30% of their brain, and we've eliminated those tumors. We have cured those dogs. That's never been done. Never been done. Our first canine patient, a little Jack Russell Terrier named Basil, came in comatose with seizures. We treated him with electroporation. We did MRIs and imaging. Big tumor. About 30% of his brain on one side crossing over. Pretty discouraging. Within 2 weeks, we were seeing a reduction in the size of the tumor, and he was up and walking around. Okay, 4 months later, we repeated his MR studies, his imaging studies of his brain. No tumor. The day I saw his MRs from 4 months, they sent them over to me and said, hey, you got to take a look at these MR studies. I looked at them and I went back, I called up Dr. Rossmeisel, Dr. Davalos. I said, okay, you guys switched the MRs. They said, no, his tumor is gone. There has never been a high-grade glioma that has been cured. Okay, and we did it. We went, wow, it's totally awesome. Okay, we've done it another few times. A dog named Lena came in, seizures, okay, miniature schnauzer, very caring people, really loved the dog, okay, terrible, treated her. A year later, when she came for her follow-up, jumped out of the car, outran her owners, came up and licked everybody. That is pure joy for doing that. It's pure joy to see that dog do that. If it doesn't make you choke up and cry right now, you're not a sensitive human being. But it's the reason that I got into doing cancer research. I got into it for a bunch of reasons. My grandfather died of esophageal cancer. My dad had squamous cell carcinoma. My mom died from a brain tumor. Okay, my sisters had breast tumor. Okay, if you take a look closely at the right side of my neck, I'll show you my scar. Okay, I had something pop up a couple years ago. I was not happy with it. Knowing what I know, I'm going, oh, it's not so good. Okay, they cut it out. It turned out that it was a tumor that was not really highly aggressive, which is a good thing, and it got it removed. Every day I come in here with the idea that I'm going to try and do something to defeat cancer. I'm going to get as many people involved in it as I can, having young people around and listening to this message and thinking, I can do difficult things. I can help. It's awesome for me. Every step that somebody takes around the field relay of life gets us one step closer. I mean that sincerely. That's not BS. Sorry, politically incorrect. Okay? It's what you all do, your effort. Am I going to make this a successful event? Is it going to translate into somebody being helped? Is it going to save a patient? Is it going to help their dog? Could it save both of them? That's the reason that we devote our lives to this mission of curing cancer and controlling it. So I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to say something. I was very happy to have this opportunity. Thank you all for doing this. This is great. Okay, go Hokies. Rack up a big score for the American Cancer Society. Everybody who survives brings a positive message of hope. Thanks very much.